If you're a long-time subscriber and watching chronologically, you'll know that I recently did a video on how to write a haiku, and to follow that up, today I'm going to be showing you how to write a Shakespearean sonnet. If, however, you're not subscribed, and you should be, then ignore everything I just said and your intro starts here. The Shakespearean sonnet is one of my all-time favourite forms of poetry, and as most of you know, Shakespeare is one of my biggest influences. I've even got a statue of him on my desk, and I'm just in complete awe of his work, like many others. Also, the Elizabethan era is a fascinating period of English history. So, are you looking to write something beautiful for someone you care about? Most likely a lover. I know you're all lovebirds out there deep down. Then let me show you the ins and outs of one of Shakespeare's most frequented forms of poetry. I am absolutely roasting in this shed right now. I can't even have my fan on because it will mess up with the audio. Sweaty Betty. The most celebrated writer to pen a sonnet is, of course, William Shakespeare. He wrote 154 of them, which were published in 1609. The Shakespeare sonnet sequence was very famous, but it wasn't actually his creation. The sonnet form of poetry was actually introduced in the mid-16th century by Thomas Wyatt, and since then, many sonneteers have captured the hearts of women all over the world. And though there are exceptions, sonnets became known as the love poem written by poets for someone very special. But how exactly did Shakespeare do it? Let me show you. First, let's talk about metre. So first, let's touch upon metre. I did quickly touch upon sonnets in a previous video, so if you've already seen that, then sorry to have to repeat myself. For me personally, I find metre to be the most crucial part of poetry. Poetry is supposed to be heightened, elevated from everyday speech. And of course, we do naturally speak in a metre in everyday language, but with a sonnet, we have to get our head around iambic pentameter. Some of you may have come across this before, likely in English at school, but if you're like me and didn't pay any attention, here's a refresher. Iambic is the name of the meter, essentially the musicality of your speech. Essentially, it looks like this. Doop, dee dum, dee dum, dee dum, dee dum, dee dum. Like musicians with sheets of music, this is a poet. You're looking to create sentences with unstressed, stressed syllables. Pentameter simply means 5 of these unstressed, stressed sets in a row. But soft, what light through yon the window breaks. So now I'm going to ask you to pause the video and take action. I just want you to start writing iambic pentameter sentences. They can be literally whatever you want. Do not overthink them. Just put random words together if you have to. The point of this exercise is not to write a poem, it's to write in the meter. They really don't have to make sense. Just get the meter down. For example, here are a few that I wrote just for this video. And so I slept upon the floor to dance. The cheese did melt as I did glance away. He shook his hand and said, I am to be. Better yet, write them in the comments down below so I can read them and have a giggle, rather than on a piece of paper that will just get thrown away, I'm sure. Okay, so hopefully you've got at least 5 sets of iambic sentences down, and we can move on to form. So when writing a sonnet, I tell you what, get a pen and paper, open a new Word document. The first thing I do, and I would recommend you doing before you start writing, is write down the following: A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. Now, if you hadn't already guessed, the last word in the A sentence matches with the last word in the other A sentence. Excuse me. And of course, the last word in the B sentence rhymes with the last word in the second B sentence. Does that make sense? E rhymes with E, F rhymes with F, G, G. Now keep in mind that the first two stanzas, A, B, A, B and C, D, C, D, is your opportunity to express what you love about your poem's subject. But the third stanza, E, F, E, F, traditionally things take a turn. This stanza, traditional sonneteers used to look at things from a different perspective or things take a dramatic turn, before concluding things with GG and returning to the love the poet has for this someone or something, whatever the subject of the poem is. Now you know the rules of writing a traditional Shakespearean sonnet. And I'm sure some of you watching this will have read a sonnet and be thinking, wait a minute Adam, they didn't stick to these rules. And as I always say, rules are made to be broken, but first we must master the rules before we break them. Please do leave your sonnets in the comments below for me to read over. My name's Adam Gary, like and subscribe if you think I'm worth it, and I'll see you again soon.